They used to be on the same side, or at least, that's what it looked like. But in the streets, trust is just another word for weakness. Now, after everything that's happened, the lies, the setups, the blood, B Mickie and Detective, Bryant come face to face, no backup, no masks. Just truth, and to men ready to explode. This ain't just another scene. This is the moment everything changes. Asterisk, asterisk, back when BMF first started heating up the streets of Detroit, nobody saw it coming. The rise of Meech and Terry was flashy, dangerous, and fast. But in the shadows, there were always side players pulling strings, cutting deals, and shifting loyalties. That's where B Mickie and Detective Bryant come in. Asterisk B Mickie wasn't just a soldier for the Flannerys, he was family. Quiet, loyal, and willing to get his hands dirty, he moved like a ghost in the war for money and respect. But like most people caught in the game, he had pressure coming from all sides. The streets wanted him focused, the law wanted him flipped. And that's where Bryant saw his shot. Asterisk Detective Bryant was different from your average cop. He didn't play fair, and he didn't care who got hurt as long as he got results. His badge gave him power, but it was his secrets that made him dangerous. He wasn't after justice, he wanted control. And he saw B Mickie as his key to cracking the Flannery empire wide open. Asterisk at first, it looked like Bryant had the upper hand. He hit B Mickie with fear, got inside his head, pushed him to give up pieces of the crew in exchange for protection. It wasn't just about survival, it was about keeping his mama safe, staying out of a cage, and avoiding a war he couldn't win. But every move came at a cost. Asterisk, the more B Mickie cooperated, the more he lost trust, brotherhood, identity. Deep down, he knew it. He was slipping into something he couldn't control. Meech started seeing through him. Terry kept his distance, and the streets. They started whispering. That's the thing about betrayal. It doesn't echo. It screams. Asterisk Bryant, on the other hand, thought he had everything in place. But pressure makes diamonds or it breaks people. His moves got sloppy. His own team started doubting him. He crossed too many lines for too long. His obsession with bringing BMF down turned personal. It stopped being about justice and started becoming about revenge and survival. Asterisk, by the end of season 3, everything had changed. B Mickie had made choices he couldn't walk back from. People close to him ended up hurt or gone. And Bryant, he got burned, suspended, watched, hated. Both men had blood on their hands. Both had run out of people to trust. Asterisk, so when episode 8 sets them up in the same city, breathing the same Atlanta air with nothing left to lose, you already know what's coming. It's not a reunion. It's a reckoning. Asterisk, Atlanta ain't Detroit. The rules are different here. The hustle is louder. The players move faster. And the game. It's a whole new battlefield. When B Mickie and Detective Bryant both landed in Atlanta, it wasn't by accident. It was survival. But in this city, survival has a price. Asterisk, for B Mickie, Atlanta was a way out, or so he thought. He didn't come looking for trouble. He came looking for peace. But peace is hard to find when you've got demons chasing you in every alley. He tried to lay low, stay off the radar, but the streets talk, and word spreads fast. Especially when your name still carries weight or baggage. Asterisk, he wasn't the same B Mickie that rolled with Meech in the early days. He moved different now. Paranoid, cautious, always watching his back. You could see it in his eyes, tired of running, but too smart to stop. He kept his circle small, trusted no one, and stayed armed like every day might be his last. Because in his world, it just might be. Asterisk Bryant, meanwhile, had fallen hard. Stripped of power, no badge, no backup, just a past full of bad choices. He didn't show up in Atlanta to start over. He showed up with a purpose, something unfinished. He wanted to clean his name, maybe, but deep down, he wanted revenge. And he knew exactly where to look for it. Asterisk, when you've chased a man long enough, you start thinking like him. That's what Bryant had become obsessed. And when that B Mickie was in the same city, everything clicked. He didn't need a warrant. He didn't need a plan. He just needed an opening. Asterisk, the thing is, Atlanta doesn't care about your history. It only cares about your heat. And both of these men came in hot. Bryant was making noise, sniffing around, corners where he didn't belong, asking questions, dropping names, and that got attention. Not just from the streets, but from the people who still remembered what he did back in Detroit. Asterisk, B Mickie heard the whispers too. Saw the signs. He didn't want the smoke, but he wasn't afraid of it either. And deep down, maybe part of him wanted that meeting, not to fix anything, but to finally end something. To stop looking over his shoulder and look the devil in the eyes. Asterisk, so when they finally crossed paths in a quiet parking lot deep in the South Side, no cameras, no cops, just shadows and silence, it wasn't by chance. It was inevitable. Asterisk, one man walking toward his past, the other standing right in it. Asterisk, no one pulled a gun. Not yet. Asterisk, but the air, it was heavy. The kind of quiet that comes before a storm. Asterisk, they didn't say much at first. Didn't have to. Asterisk, years of pain, betrayal, and broken codes were already hanging in the air like smoke. Asterisk, Atlanta didn't bring them together. Asterisk, the streets did not. Asterisk, and now that they were face to face, neither man looked away. Asterisk, it was late. Not the kind of late where the city sleeps, but the kind where the wrong people wake up. The sky was dark, the streets half empty, and a soft Atlanta breeze pushed through the alleyway. Streetlights flickered like they were nervous too. B Mickie stood still, hoodie up, hand in his jacket, not for warmth, for protection. Asterisk, he had gotten the message hours before, a quiet whisper from someone he barely trusted. Bryant's here. Looking for you. Asterisk, and now here he was. Asterisk, Detective Bryant stepped out of a black sedan like he still wore the badge, even though the system had ripped it from his chest. His stance hadn't changed, calm, steady, like a man with nothing left to lose and everything to prove. But the eyes, they were different now, tired, bitter, obsessed. Asterisk, they stood across from each other, maybe 10 feet apart, no one else around. No backup, no noise except the hum of a distant train and the slow ticking of the moment. Asterisk, for a long time, neither one said anything. Asterisk, then Bryant broke the silence. Asterisk, greater than didn't think he'd show. Asterisk, B Mickie didn't move. His voice came out cold. Asterisk, I needed to see what a dead man walks like. Asterisk, the tension hit the ground like a brick. Asterisk, this wasn't about small talk. This wasn't a deal or a warning. Asterisk, this was a wound finally opened. Asterisk, Bryant stepped closer, slow and steady. Asterisk, greater than you had a choice. You could have stayed loyal, but you played both sides. Asterisk, Mickie scoffed, shaking his head. Asterisk, I played the side that kept my people breathing. You were never about justice. You were just another hustler with a badge. Asterisk, Bryant's jaw clenched. He tried to keep his cool, but the truth hit too hard. Asterisk, greater than you think they care about you. Meech, Terry, they used you up and left you out to rot. Asterisk, B Mickie stepped forward now, close enough that if either of them flinched, it would have gone bad fast. Asterisk, greater than they might have left, but at least they didn't sell me out like you did. You used me like a pawn, told me I was helping my people, all while you were lining your own pockets. Asterisk, the weight of every bad decision between them was right there in the open. Asterisk, this wasn't just to enemies talking. Asterisk, it was to ghosts, both haunted by the same war. Asterisk, Bryant's voice dropped low. Asterisk, greater than I never meant for it to end like this. Asterisk, Mickie stared at him. Asterisk, but it did. And you made sure of it. Asterisk, silence again. Asterisk, but not peace. Asterisk, a beat passed, long, slow, heavy. Asterisk, then B Mickie reached into his jacket. Asterisk Bryant stiffened, instinct still sharp. Asterisk but Mickie didn't pull a gun. Asterisk he pulled out a phone. Asterisk greater than this conversation never happened. Mickie said, "Next time I see you, I won't be talking." Asterisk and with that, he walked past Bryant like the past was burning behind him. Asterisk Bryant didn't stop him. Asterisk didn't follow. Asterisk he just stood there. Alone in a city that didn't care who he used to be. Asterisk that moment wasn't closure. Asterisk it was warning. Asterisk and both men knew it. Asterisk this wasn't over. Asterisk. When B Mickie walked away, the street didn't feel quieter. It felt colder. Like something had cracked in the middle of Atlanta and was still bleeding, even if no one saw it. He didn't flinch, didn't look back. But inside, that moment rattled something deep. Asterisk C. For B Mickie, that face-to-face wasn't just about survival. It was about standing in front of the man who twisted his life, bent it out of shape, and left him carrying the weight of choices he never really wanted to make. For so long, he had tried to outrun it. But tonight proved something. You can't run forever. Not from guilt. And definitely not from yourself. Asterisk and for Bryant. Asterisk that silence after Mickie left said more than words ever could. He stood there, alone, in the same empty lot where his power used to mean something. But now, no badge, no backup, no partner. Just echoes of a man who thought he could play the game and still walk out clean. Asterisk his obsession with taking BMF down, with using Mickie, bending rules, pushing lines. All of it had cost him everything. His job, his respect, his name, and, worst of all, his control. That night in Atlanta didn't give him closure. It gave him a mirror. And what he saw staring back was someone broken, someone outplayed. Asterisk because here's the truth no one says out loud in the game. There's no win when trust gets traded for power. Only survival, only damage. Asterisk and that's where both these men are now survivors of their own decisions. Asterisk B Mickie may have walked away that night. But he's not free. He's still carrying bodies in his memory. Still trying to protect a heart that's gotten used to betrayal. He's not just watching his back anymore. He's watching his soul. He knows the street is waiting to collect every debt, every lie, every double cross. And that clock is ticking. Asterisk as for Bryant. Asterisk he might have been silenced for now, but men like him don't stay quiet long, especially when their pride is bruised. That look in his eyes when Mickie left wasn't just regret, it was fuel. He may not have the badge, but he still has dirt, connections, leverage. The kind of man who might burn the whole board just to take down one piece. Asterisk, so what does this all mean for BMF? Asterisk it means the past isn't done. It means the old wounds are still open, and it means the storm is far from over. Asterisk because moments like this. Asterisk they don't end with goodbyes. Asterisk they end with consequences. Asterisk and Atlanta. Asterisk it's about to feel every one of them. Asterisk some meetings are about peace. Asterisk this one wasn't. Asterisk this was a quiet war fought with eyes, history, and words that cut deeper than bullets. B Mickie and Detective Bryant didn't settle anything in that. Allie, they just reopened the wound. Now they both know. There's no turning back. Asterisk in this world. Survival doesn't mean healing. It just means living long enough to see the next betrayal. Asterisk and after that night in Atlanta, both men are marked. Asterisk Bryant's pride is shattered, but pride is dangerous when you've got nothing left to lose. Asterisk B Mickie. He's walking with fire in his chest and silence on his lips, but that silence, it's not weakness. It's focus. Asterisk because real threats don't make noise. Asterisk they wait. Asterisk they plan. Asterisk they strike when it matters. Asterisk and episode 9. Asterisk that's when the strike is coming. Asterisk